Hello, we've got some decoders that I'm going to show you how to configure. The one I'm showing you on the screen now is a 6904 from Hikvision. It's a 4-channel decoder, which means it's got 4 monitor outputs. We do have some single ones. That's a 6901. That was a single channel output, and they're normally configured a little bit like this. You stick a monitor onto the output, and we cable in through the IP network some extra cameras, or the decoder just basically sits on the network with your laptop. That's exactly the sort of setup we're going to start to do. We could connect another monitor, and you could go right ahead and create yourself a video wall with one of these things, and that's really what they're intended for. So let's head on over to our favorite SADP tool, and I want to go and configure the decoder. So I've ran it. I can see the IP address for the 6904. It happens to be 192.168.50.45. So I'm going to launch a browser to 50.45, and we're going to start to configure it now. Right, configuring it. We have the web page up with the IP address in, of course. This is Microsoft Edge, and the first thing we really have to do with Edge is go and start Edge in Internet Explorer mode. And if you've done that correctly, you'll get a little Internet Explorer symbol, and it may come up with a little message for you. But once you've done that, I've already initialized this decoder, so it has a username and password. So I'm just going to go and log in right now, and we'll get to the configuration screen. Right now we're in the configuration screen. I want to go over to the configuration really. So let's have a look at the video wall configuration first. And this is where we deal with the monitor outputs. This one has 4 HDMIs, also has a couple of BNCs. We're not going to be using them right now. We're just interested in the HDMI outputs. The first thing I'm going to do is nip over to the actual configuration, and it's sometimes a good idea just to double check this one happens to have 4 network adapters on there. So you've just really got to make sure you're connected to the correct one. So I'm connected to number 4. There is a few other personalization options you can configure if you need to, but I really would probably encourage you to go and check the model number and go and get the latest software, click on the maintenance tab and get it upgraded before you start all this. Once you've done that, we can head back over to the video wall. And the first thing we're going to do with a video wall is actually add a camera. So you can add that little IP symbol there, and we need to find out an IP address. We're going to have to go old school. We're going to have to use SADP to figure out what our camera IP addresses are. So we're just going to go and pick one. And the one we're going to pick is down here. That one there, it's on 50.100. I'm just going to select it. I'm just going to use the model number of the camera as a name, just so we know what it is. So I'm just going to select it and just press a Control-C on the keyboard. I'm going to go back to the video configuration. I'm just going to paste in the model number, and then I need to put our IP address in from the camera, which we know is 192.168.50.100. The port number that's also displayed on SADP. It's what we call the application port number. It's always that for Hikvision, so it's always 8000. So we're just going to put 8000 in that box there. And we're going to add in the username and password. The username and password, of course, is the one that you used to log on to the camera. So we're making them all the same. And the next thing we want to do is decide what stream type we want to add in. I normally pick the substream because it's a video wall. We don't need the main stream on there. That's the high quality stream. This is the low quality stream, which is perfectly adequate. Then I've got a choice of an area. We can add one, and we're going to call this one training room. And we're going to press save. So I'm just going to add it to an area. We don't have one now, but we're just going to create one. And the channel number, I'm just going to pick number 1 because it only has one channel, this camera, and click next. And of course, it's going to let me select that channel, and I click OK. And that's us done. We've added our very first camera to the decoder. Right, the next thing I need to do is nip on over to the video wall configuration for a second. And I need to drag in the HDMI that I've got the monitor connected to, which is number 1. And at this point, we can change the layout because this is meant for a video wall. So I've only got the one monitor connected, so I'm only going to go one by one, and that's what it looks like there. I don't have to do any more configuration at this point. I'm showing you the monitor output now, which has nothing on it. I'm now going to drag over the camera that I've added onto the layout, and hey presto, up appears on our monitor that's connected to the HDMI, the camera. It's probably a good idea now to save our scene. So I'm going to click Save As. I was going to fill in the name Training Room. I'm going to click OK. As you can see, that's that new scene saved as Training Room. And if I want to refer to it again, I can always do that. If I don't want to display anything, I can just click on the little cross on the top right, and the image will disappear from the monitor we've got connected. Let's go over now and have a look at the video wall configuration. And have a look at different combinations. I might want to change the layout a little bit because this might be a video wall and I might have 2 monitors connected to it. So I'm going to alter it as a 1x2, and I would have to drag in whichever HDMI I wanted over there. We're going to use HDMI 2. Don't have to touch it again. I can go and leave it, and as we go back, we'll see the layout's changed a little bit. I've got 2 screens to populate. But let's just fill in HDMI 1 for the training room. Again, I'll just kill that right now. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go and add some more cameras. Again, we're going to have to go and check which camera I'm going to add. In this case, I think I'll add that one there, which again, I'll just select it. I'll just grab its name. Remember, its IP address is 50.123. So I'll just paste in its name there so we can refer to it again. And its IP address, we'll just type it all in now. It's 50.123. Port number, it's the same again, it's 8000. Username, it's the same username we use to log on to the camera. So it's admin and whatever password you put in there. Again, I'll select substream. I'll just leave it as the training room. I could add another if I wanted to. But then again, I have to choose the channel number again. It's only got one channel. So we'll get the prompt to make sure we're adding the correct channel. And that's us added a second camera to our training room scene. I'm just going to go and add another one. Which one we're going to have now? Let's go and have a look. I think we'll deselect that one and we'll choose that one there. That one's on a 50.140. So I'll just grab the name again. Control C on the keyboard, and I'll just paste it in there so we've got a name. And I'll just put the IP address back in. So it's 50.140. And again, port number's the same again, 8000. Username, same as before. And again, choose the substream from there. And again, I'll leave it on the training room. Select our channel number. Click Next. Make sure they're all selected. Click OK. And I've now got 3 cameras added to the decoder. I'm now going to add all these 3 cameras to the scene. So the first thing I really need to do is drag a camera in, select. It's very important to select it, the segment, and then you get a choice of the multi-way. I'm going to pick 4, and then I can just click and drag these cameras in. As you can see on the local monitor, they'll all appeared. And I just might want to make sure I save that. So I'm going to click on Save. There we go. And that's it. That scene is now saved as a 4-way. I'm just going to disconnect it, and I'm going to go and add one final camera to this little layout here. And the camera I want is our thermal camera. So let's just have a look at it. That's him over there. 50.116. So I just need to remember a few things. I'll just paste that name in again, but this time I might just call it thermal. I'll stick in the IP address that we'd remembered from before, 192.168.50.116. Port number is 8000 again. Our username is admin, and it's the same password you use to log onto that thermal camera. Again, pick all the old substream out, but this time we know we've got 2 channels because it's a thermal camera. So I'm going to enter 2 in there, and then I'm going to click next, and then I'm going to select both of these channels. There we go. So it gives me thermal 1 and thermal 2, so I can test that. Let's have a look. Let's just go and drag a scene into one of the monitors. That's all very good. I can drag another one in, but I'll just cancel that one first. Let's just drag that other one in. And then you see it's a thermal image. This is what I expect from this camera. I'm just going to cancel that. We're going to go ahead now and change the layout again. So the first thing I have to do, remember, is to drag a camera into the segment, select the segment, and then I get the choice of changing the layout. I'm going to go and use a 6-way, which is this one up here. And then I can do click and drag as many cameras as I've got into the layout in any segment I want it to be. So we'll drag that final camera over there. Now that's all done, I think we'll go ahead and save that scene so we can recall it anytime we want to. I'm just going to go and cancel that, and what we'll do is we'll add in our thermal again, and we're going to change the layout again. So this time we're going to go for a 2-way and put 2 cameras in there, but this time we're going to save it as a different scene. So this time we're going to call it the thermal scene. So let's just rename it like that. And there we have it. We've created a couple of scenes. We've still got an existing scene there that was in from before. But if I ever want to recall the training room on that HDMI output, all I have to do is click the play button, and I can go and replay or play back the thermal scene at any time. And as I said, there was an original scene in there, and it's the only time you can delete it is when you've still got like other existing scenes in there. So I'm just going to delete that redundant one so it's nice and tidy. And that's us completed. The only thing I want to do is just go and tidy up the screen a little bit. Let's get rid of that second HDMI by deleting it and changing the layout back to a 1x1. So this kind of screen looks a little bit better, and then we'll have our layout as it's displayed on there. And we can recall that training room scene again, and then it's our single monitor shows that way. Well, I hope that's helped. All that remains for me to do is just log out, and thank you very much.